Recording in progress.
11 p.m. Oh, thank you so much for joining in such a late time, Chris.
It's earlier than it usually is. So.
All right, so shall we start the event now, Chris?
I think we should, yes.
Okay, all right.
Very good time. Well, greetings, folks. Welcome those of you who've been to our STEAM seminars before. This is our 13th consecutive one. This is exciting. Typically, people think of 13 as being an unlucky number. This is going to be a switch up on that. So, I'm Chris Brownell. I work at Fresno Pacific University in Fresno, California, and I'm getting a loop back on my voice.
Yes, I think we have a sound issue. The microphone.
Well, I hope it's not my microphone. But I'll be moderating and helping and joining with Charlotte Graham, who's also moderating. Charlotte, say hello.
Hi, morning.
Morning.
Yes, we are getting this. We are really getting this feedback loop.
It's not me.
I think everyone's microphone does the loop back. Yes, including mine. I don't know why, but okay.
Wow. All right. Well, let's see what that seems to have cured it. Yes. If everybody who's not speaking would keep their microphone off, that would help with that problem usually. And this afternoon, evening, morning, and night, we'll have two great speakers from two different parts of the world talking to us about two very interesting and very different topics. The first speaker this evening will be Mr. Dewey Cho, who will be speaking on using 4D frames with young children, as I understand, and then Dr. Tony Houghton will give us a word in a little bit. Sung-woo, did Mr. Park have something he wanted to say at the beginning?
Not at the moment. I think we can just start.
Okay.
All right.
Again, thank you, Mr. Park, for helping put these on, and we are very grateful. I was just going to send it to Mr. Cho, and he stepped out of the screen. So, Charlotte, do you have a song you might entertain us with?
No, I think I'll save you. I'll spare you.
We'll call on Philippe for a song, and maybe.
Yeah.
No. We are continuing with these. We expect to have number 14 next month. Is that correct, Sung-woo?
Yes. As long as we have speakers and we are attendees.
Yeah, people seem to remain interested. So we.
Yes. Okay, I'll call him to.
Thank you. Here he comes. He's on his way back.
네. 네, 이사님 이제 발표 진행하시면 됩니다.
There he is. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome.
It's nice to meet you here. Okay, I'm Dewey Jo. My Korean name is Kwang-hyun, and Kwang-hyun Jo, but I think you'd better remember Dewey. Dewey is my favorite character in Disney movie, because do you know Dewey? Duck. Duck. Yes. And okay. Yeah, right. And I've been working as a researcher at FAS, Foundation for the Advancement of STEAM, since winter 2016. And I'm glad you've come to the 13th Special STEAM Seminar in many countries. In particular, I would like to express my gratitude to the 4D Frame and Experience Workshop officials who plan and organize this event. The original presenter of the time is someone else, not me, who is a high school chemistry teacher and was going to present you with a really great study. Unfortunately, his presentation was delayed. And I'm here on his behalf just because I was there at that time next to Hogor Park. And okay, the topic I will present today is mathematical activities approach using Super 4D Frame for young children. Now, I will share the screen. Okay, please wait.
Beautiful, it's working well.
Okay. Let me check. Yes, this is my email address below, right? Today's presentation is typical, but I'll make one suggestion for communication. I don't feel it, but if you're uncomfortable, it's probably because of my language. I am fluent in Korean, but speaking English is quite simple. Yes, so if you have a question, please text the chat window immediately. Of course, I will have Q&A time after the presentation. And furthermore, if you have any question after the seminar today, please email me at any time. Okay. Yes. Okay, the next. First of all, I want to define the keywords used in this topic. The title is Mathematical Activities Approach using Super 4D Frame for young children, right? Young children, yes, young children are children from 0 to 5, age 0 to 5, and generally meaning preschoolers and kindergartners. And Super 4D Frame. Do you know the Super 4D Frame? I think, yes. Super 4D Frame is a creative educational tool that can combine and connect the most basic units of all figures to comprise frames, and thereby gradually build various polyhedrons and unlimited creative pieces. Super 4D Frame is a large version of 4D Frame. Yes, and okay. And mathematical activities approach. In the term mathematical activity approach generally means project, not the unit activity or program. Children approach their goals by steadily conducting project. That's why I naming the approach. Okay, and yeah, this is Thomas Kuhn, who wrote the book, The Structure of Scientific Revolution. And he suggests the theory, the paradigm shift theory. The change and development of early childhood education can be interpreted as Thomas Kuhn's paradigm shift theory. There have been many criticisms, but I enjoy using this theory as a lens of interpretation. In the history of mankind, the system that collects preschool children in one space and provides care and education has a short history of about 885 years, based on the establishment of Froebel's kindergarten. And the first kindergarten in Korea started in 1914. So it is only 808 years of history, very short. Kuhn explains the process of scientific change as the result of various phases of paradigm change. For example, I will explain how kindergarten started according to his theory. You know, this is the normal science. The normal science, the period before the paradigm appears only once, and then the four stages are repeated. Therefore, the analysis of the period before the kindergarten is explained by the past normal science. Before kindergarten, it was normal science for parents to take care of their children. But the phase 2 crisis, in a new environment of industrial revolution, maybe 1800s, children cannot be cared for in the past way. We had to work on solving the puzzle in a new environment. A crisis has come to normal science. And the phase 3 is here. Parents asked someone to take care of the children temporarily or just left them at home and went to work. At this time, Froebel in Germany, Owen in England, and Montessori in Italy gathered children in kindergarten, daycare center, and Casa de Bambini. This is the beginning of a modern preschool, and this became the second normal science that replaced the existing normal science. Science may go through these cycles repeatedly, though Kuhn notes that it is a good thing for science that such shifts do not occur often or easily. In mathematics, education for preschool children was also influenced by this early childhood education system. That is, the early childhood mathematics education is based on developmentally appropriate practice and satisfying the interest and need of young children, especially since the mathematics education of children has been influenced by the development theory of children and the change of kindergarten education method. It is better to briefly examine the process of accumulating or changing kindergarten education method for a while. Children learn through play. So let's look at what accumulates and what is replaced by each period according to the environmental changes of early childhood education. Through this refining process, the meaning of mathematical play can be analyzed. Okay, the first period of early childhood education is psychoanalysis. Under the influence of Freud, Erikson, Jung, other, etc. Kindergartens set autonomy as their developmental goal from 0 to 2, and initiative from ages 3 to 5 years old as their developmental goal. This influence has been accumulated in modern kindergarten. However, psychoanalysis lacked methodology to teach young children, specifically in the field. As you know well, behaviorism is a theory developed by scholars such as Pavlov, Watson, Skinner, Bandura, and Thorndike. Yes, and a theory that has contributed greatly to educational methodology. The knowledge accumulated in this theory is an in-depth observation of teachers about children playing. As time went by, behavioralism seemed far from the developmental goals of children, autonomy and initiative, because it was used as a way for children to follow the teacher lead plan. Thus, the child-centered philosophy of humanism by scholars such as Maslow and Rogers is emerging. Dewey regarded children's free play experience and integration as an important was of education at laboratory school. As a result, free play or free choice activities remain in kindergarten. Furthermore, today have developed into a way of exploring project by actively participating in all the processes of planning, doing and seeing themselves on various interests of children. However, it is difficult to choose, plan, play, and evaluate the immature children themselves. So it is necessary for teachers to teach them for a certain period of time and gradually for children to carry out all projects themselves. In this regard, in mathematical activities for children need to be applied to all theories that have influenced early childhood education and the refined interaction method according to the accumulation and replacement of philosophy. And okay. So far, we have confirmed the development and elaboration of early childhood education according to the accumulation and replacement. So what is the definition of play? What is play? What is play of true meaning? Yes, play is broadly defined as an activity in which children choose themselves and express themselves. Two important keywords of play are children's choice and self-expression. Real play cannot be taught, controlled, or guided. In a very natural situation, the children's choice and self-expression will be shown. But have you ever heard of a subject for teacher education called play instruction or play guidance? The children in the development process need some support and help from teachers until they are fully mature. Accordingly, it is necessary to provide various mathematical activities in the field, from structured activities led by teachers to open activities led by children. But most importantly, the ultimate goal of children's mathematical activities is free play based on children's child choice and self-expression. Okay, now. From now on, I will explain the approach, content, composition, and effectiveness verification of mathematical activities approach using Super 4D frame for young children. What should we teach in kindergarten? What content will be provided to children for their own play? Okay, we Korean has the national curriculum in the kindergarten that called Nuri curriculum. It has 5 domains, 5 areas of mathematics. The first is number and operation, and space and figure, measurement, pattern, classification, and ordering. And we can confer another content standards, that is the from NCTM, the American Mathematical Teachers Council, right? And that shows that shows us the standards for mathematical sectors. The first one is okay. They shows us maybe 5 areas: numbers, geometry, measurements, algebras, statistics. Okay, we consider the relationship and continuity between mathematical areas, and rearrangement of contents according to AZ and semester, considering degree of difficulties. Okay, from these materials. Okay, let me show. Yes, this is the principles and standards for school mathematics from NCTM. You know, the first band is preschool to K2, and the second band is grade 3 to 5, and the third band is 6 to 8, fourth is 9 to 12. And we analyze these standards. Preschool, the kindergarten children can share the activities, the mathematical activities for children in the fourth band consists of number will be 30%, algebra will be 5%, and geometry 30%, measurement 20%, data analysis and probability will be 15%. This is the balance of each sectors, each mathematical activities. This table shows mathematics content and composition ratio. Yes, of mathematical activity using 4D frame. We use these standards. Okay, this shows clearly. We have five area of mathematics in Nuri curriculum, and STEAM standard shows 5 domains, and we use composition ratio of mathematical activities using 4D frame. This ratios here. Okay, and the methodology. Okay, how should we teach? What methodology do we apply? Although natural life experiences are important in mathematics education, intentional teaching must be supplemented. In early childhood, the relationship between the developmental stage of mathematical thinking and learning experiences experience starts from natural mathematical experiences and informal experience. After that, the informal learning experience gradually develops into the structured learning experience intended by the teacher. Therefore, the mathematical activities in kindergarten can begin with natural experience at first, and then the intentional teaching method in which the teacher intervenes can be applied. Of course, this is not an absolutely set order and can vary depending on the situation. Yeah. Yeah, this is from these journals, and okay. And this is TBC, Teacher Behavior Continuum. You know, from here to here, and this is the power of teachers' behavior. And when children do various activities in kindergarten, teacher can intervene in various ways depending on the situation. We call this the TBC. This is not a matter of philosophy, but a problem of teaching methodology according to children's interest and development. The teacher behavior continuum suggests a continuum of teacher action. TBC moves from looking on here. This is okay. Yes, looking on here, and this is the minimum power, and physical support acting here. Yes, maximum power. I think you know the famous Russian scholar Vygotsky also explained that in his ZPD theory, zone of proximal development theory, children learn with the guidance of teachers at first, but in the second stage, they try to follow the teacher's behavior and language. In the third stage, they try their own internalized language and behavior. And in the last stage, they set goals with the next GPD. Based on this TBC, based on TBC and ZPD theory, we extracted for the FITI, 40 frame instruction type indicator, and gave this property to all activities. Early childhood mathematics activities using Super 40 frame were designed with for the FITI, but it can be flexibly transformed to change the plan according to the situation of kindergarten and the interest of children. This is an example, yes, of ST, and this is the teacher-centered design, and this is the neutral learning together. And this is a child-centered, strongly child-centered. I will explain again this from this page. Okay. You know, this is the neutral, and all the activity will be doing together. And here strongly child-centered. This is the children you do, and the teacher I watch. Usually self-planning, doing, and seeing. You know, the plan, do, see. This cycle will be repeatedly in this type of play activities, and this is the strongly teacher-centered. I think all these things will be changes in each situations and in it based on the children's interest and children's care. Okay. This is the composition of the mathematical activities for young children using the specific Super 4D frame. This was designed by selecting 5 areas and ratios of the mathematical activities for young children based on NURI course and STEM standards. Okay, from 1 to 10 and 11 to 12. We have yes, we have 20 sessions were organized. And this is a sample of the mathematics activity chart. It can be used by children voluntarily by placing them in the mathematics area of kindergarten. And this is a worksheet that can be used by children who want to do after math activities. And this is a paired mathematical activity kit that can be taken home and used. Super 4D frame is used with friends in kindergarten, and then the paired 4D frame kit, smaller kit, used by a child when taking it home and playing alone. Yes, yeah, this is a picture of children in kindergarten doing math activity using Super 4D frame. Okay, now, I want to share effectiveness verification of this approach. The purpose of this study was to investigate the effect of mathematical activities using 4D frame on 5-year-old children's mathematical ability and attitude toward mathematics. For the study, 4. We selected 4 preschools and 28 children from preschools each. Oh no, not each. From Y preschool as the experimental group, and 28 children from the other kindergarten, 2 kindergarten as the comparative groups. Okay, and this is the, yes, we use the tool mathematical ability test. This is from maybe Stanford University for kindergartner mathematical ability. And this is the pre-test result, and these are post-test result. Okay, now I will show you the result of the study. Okay, this is the mean standard SD and adjusted mean and standard error according to sub-factors of mathematical abilities. In mathematical ability, the correction score of experimental group was here, adjustment. Yes. Group was high. The experimental group was high, and here, this is the, yes, we can find this table, the statistical significance of the corrected post score was tested after controlling the influence of the press score of mathematical ability. As a result, the F statistics value was 8.91 and the significance levels, yes, and 4D frame teaching methods show the statistically significant difference in the mathematical score achievement level corrected, and the effectiveness of super 4D frame approach in mathematical ability has been demonstrated. Okay, now I will show you another one. Yes, this is the mathematical ability among groups. The statistical significance of corrected post score was tested after controlling the influence of the press score of mathematical attitude. This is not the ability test data. This is the attitude. As a result, the corrected mathematical attitude score of 4D frame teaching method was statistically significant difference in the F statistics value 128.02 and significant level 0.01. In mathematical attitudes, the effectiveness of the approach using super 4D frame has been proven. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I have many problems here. And I want to show you the this is the one of activities, and you know the geodesic dome, and this is the chart, and this is the teacher-centered approach. The first storytelling like this. Teacher shows this animation and read the story, and the children listening the story, and the stars brothers 1 2 3 4 5 let me see 5 6 star brothers. Once upon a time there were 6 brothers live in the sky, and they played all the time, and they should come back to home. This is the home, their home. 1 2 3 4 5 6. It matches like this here, and the last one. And someday the giant nation, I can see here. From the giant kingdom, the big crown tumbling down like this, and the stars, we can live together in this giant crown. In this giant crown, let's build the house, and the second storytelling will be like this. This is the crown from the giant kingdom, and we have 5 triangles here, and green stars will be the roof of the house like this, and the 6 star brothers will live in this house. Yes. Hey stars, hello, this is a great house. Come here, we have 6 windows here. Oh really? Then my brothers will come and play here. Shall we? Yes, of course. And the 6 brothers will be share the kingdom, share the crowns from kingdom. Wow, that will be great house, and let's go together. Yes, and the 6 brothers, one by one, into the crown from the giant kingdom. Yes, the first, the second, the third enter the house, and the 4th, 5th, and 6th. The 6th can't find the window that he entered, and where can I go in? And his brother said, hey, look at the roof. It's empty. And then he jumped up to the rooftop, and he entered this house. Now the 6th window has 6 stars. You know, like this. Okay, let me see. Okay, like this way we can approach it, the children's mathematical goals, and then extend another levels mathematical plays step by steps. But the ultimate goal, it will be the free play, all the process. The children should choose, and the children's own making the plan and doing and seeing. That cycle will be recommended. But this is the I think teacher-centered activities, but we can convert another version to child-centered activities. Will be strongly child-centered activities. Okay. I'm very sorry because my leg of preparation, and this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. Okay, let me see the chat box here.
Mr. Cho, there was a question sent to me about the viewing of the spectrum that you placed of teacher-centered exercises and student-centered exercises. Is it necessarily worse for children to have teacher involvement and then to be completely autonomous, or how much is there a place for balance in there between teacher-centered and student-centered or student autonomous activity?
Yes, I think usually in kindergarten we have the time for pre-play. At that time, usually the teacher can observe the children how to play, and teacher need someone who need teacher support or can be in time good pre-play. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry if I interrupted you. Keep.
Yeah. Children are in a situation. Each children will be different situation in a different situation. Some children need to teacher support. Some children need to peers support, and some children want to be alone. It depends on, because we designed this teacher behavior continuum. Use only the teacher's observation. Teacher decide to his or she's observation. If need the help, he or she can support the children. I'm sorry, not exactly expression.
I think that was very, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there other questions from the participants? Charlotte, did you want to clarify your?
I didn't see any other questions. No, sorry.
Oh, okay. I didn't either. Okay.
I'm sorry, I can understand some things, but yes, now will be better.
It was good, thank you.
Yeah.
It's very much.
Very interesting.
I have a question. First of all, I really enjoyed the talk, and I think we need more research from early childhood education and preschool education. Absolutely, this kind of approach is what you introduced, and I just maybe you already told it. I missed the first few minutes, but did you publish already these results? Do you have some papers?
Yes, we have published it, this kind of result in 2016, maybe 2018 in Korea.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Was it in English?
No, it's not. It's not in English. It's Korean journal.
I think it would be absolutely worth to think about an international publication with these results, and also maybe to do some comparison with other countries. So if you are interested, work with Finnish specialists and maybe with Swedish, maybe with US. I think we can talk about this later. So it would be nice to bring forward this conversation.
Yes. Your idea is good. I agree with the international comparison studies in this topic. Yes.
Yeah, and also the Korean results would be interesting in the international scene without even any comparison. So if you are interested to have international publication based on the results, I think we can also collaborate on that.
Okay. And I want to share the chat box. Hi, my question is that in the studies about play-based activities, are the personality types of students considered, because the common personality types are usually extroverts and sensing, so that seems to highly affect the result, isn't it? 이게 임 선생님 이게 무슨 뜻이죠? extrovert?
잠시만요.
Yes, play-based.
외향적인, 예.
Extrovert
외향적인,
being
extrovert, 외향적인.
outgoing.
아,
네, 외향적으로. 네.
Sorry, we do have a question in the chat now. Can you see it? It says, my
Yes,
question.
He was trying to answer it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
His question. The question is he was trying to understand. I think the difference.
Oh, the
between
question,
phrase
yeah.
Extrovert.
네, 뭐 해석해드릴까요, 다시?
네.
아.
지금 이
놀이 중심의, 네.
I'm sorry.
그 놀이 중심 활동에서 이제 나오는 건데 일반적으로 이제 학생들이 이제 내향적인 학생들보다 외향적인 학생들이 더 많기 때문에 이제 그 결과, 그러니까 어떤 연구를 하거나 어떤 이제 그 놀이 중심 교육을 했을 활동, 그런 교육을 했을 때 결과에도 그것이 이제 좀 크게 영향을 미치기 때문에 이제 그런 것들도 이제 그러니까 놀이 중심 활동이라는 것을 연구를 할 때 있어서 영향을 많이 미치는가, 그런 거에 대한 질문입니다. 학생들이 이제 기본적으로 내향적인 학생보다 외향적인 학생이 더 많다라고 이제
예.
이야기가 있다고, 예, 그런 이야기들이 일반적으로 나온다고 하더라고요. 네.
네, 맞아요. 오케이.
네, 그 부분에 대해서, 그러니까 그렇기 때문에 이제 그 프로그램을 짜는 그런 것에 있어서도 그러한 학생들의 성향이 영향을 미치느냐라는 질문입니다.
예. Yes, 산도치. Yes, 모슨 산도치. Right? Yes. Yes, I agree. The extroversion and introversion of children have a great influence on play-oriented activities, right? Because they choose the activities every activities, and some children do not join the activities. That's why a great influence on play-oriented activities will be difference from extroversion and introversion children. Do you have another?
No.
Okay.
I can't see any more questions just now. Thank you, Mawson says.
Yeah, my email address here.
Shall we perhaps move on then to Tony Horton, even though we're a few minutes ahead of time? What do you say, Chris?
I think that probably would be a good idea. Yes.
Are you ready, Tony?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm going to share the screen. For my presentation, I'm going to show you a few video clips. These, some are professional, sort of, some are amateur, taken by kids and teachers. So there might be a variable sound quality, which, you know, you'll just have to live with. But let me know if you can't hear stuff properly, please. Okay, I'm going to share the screen now. Okay, it's great to have this opportunity to talk. I actually qualified as a teacher years ago, and then moved into industry and was working with adults in customer service and also product development. Then in about 2005, in this BT Global hothousing, BT is British Telecom, I started working with kids as our young customers. And we had some really excellent experiences working with kids. And I kind of pursued that, working with academic institutions. And one of my interests is to take industry best practice and see how and if we can use that with younger students. So basically, that's what this is about. I'd like to start off, therefore, with customer service and product development, how it might relate to kids' lessons, then go to a detailed hothousing example, which is an EU project called STEAMTEACHE, then have a look at some more creative solutions, and then further work with another European project, STEAM Connect, with Christoph, JKU University, and other terrific people. Okay, so the first thing that we found in customer service is it's all about perception. There's a guy called Parasuraman who said it's not how important something is. It's not important how responsiveness is or reliability is. It's what the customer expects, and we have to exceed that expectation. If you always go for a 5 out of 5 top star experience, it can be too expensive or too divorced for a student from their everyday experience. So if they have a crazy, beautiful one-day experience of STEM away from school, they will love that. But for them coming back to school, STEM or STEAM is still boring. So we have to kind of relate the two. Often with customers and children, the experience can be, they might have quite a real low expectation. You know, kids not being so keen on maths, not being so keen on STEAM related activities. So what you then have to do is leverage that to try and get an experience that will exceed their expectation. And that's why I call it an expectation shock. But the big thing about this, folks, is that there's a huge opportunity to use these creative workshops that I'm going to talk about to develop an intense, trusting collaboration with kids and indeed with adults. And the big thing is that when we're working on projects with kids, it's not a question of showing some amazing, crazy stimuli experience. It's in what the students themselves experience, achieve and create working together, which can be amazing. And if we just go for a little look at the literature on this from an industry perspective, the SERQUAL, which I've mentioned before, but also collaborative problem solving, very similar terms that we would use in academic educational circles. Intensity is a key component in product development, the co-evolution or developing ideas, typical intensive activities. And BT, which is British Telecom, which is where I was working, their hot housing events are intensive workshops that bring people together, customers and in-house experts together to collaborate and work together. And then teams of people with different skills and knowledge compete, have fun to produce actual business solutions. If we then compare that with a school or educational perspective, then again, right from 40 years ago, we're talking about collaborative learning environments and all the stuff that Dewey was saying about degree of support and Vygotsky. We've got students and teachers learn more, getting more engaged, explicit reasoning, creativity and co-construction, similar things to what we were looking at in industry. And students play the role of active learners, blah, blah, blah. Flipped classroom. Again, you know, there were big parallels. And PISA, OECD and the EU focus very much on STEAM and collaborative problem-solving assessment. And then maybe last, but certainly not least, maybe the most important is right from years ago, right up to today, this key one here, students reacting positively to a stimulating challenge, all about effective learning as defined by Ross Pickard, learning that relates to the learner's interests, attitudes, and motivations. We're really trying to hook those kids in. We're really trying to get them at the emotional level. So if we put that kind of lessons from customer service and then the product development, we're looking for what I call an expectation shock. And clearly in some of these examples, you know, it's the biggest, most extreme cases. I'm not suggesting that every project is like this, but just enjoy yourself for a moment. Imagine you're a kid, yeah? Are you all doing that? Yeah? Imagine you're a young girl, right, working on a zero-cost energy bike in Stoke High School, Ipswich. Just concentrate on that image. So here's our young lady. So you may not have been able to quite hear that, but here's the kids working on a zero-cost energy project. And by the way, we have links in British Telecom with China, the States, Africa. But imagine you're this kid, right, working on a project, and they see this in their partner school in India, who they're working with.
You have charged the battery this cycle.
So these kids were working, you know, in the UK, put in a clip of their work on YouTube, and imagine they're in a workshop in the UK and then they receive this from their partner school in India, working on the same project. But imagine their reaction when they see what happens to that zero-cost energy bike. And finally, imagine you're that young person, seeing how their work can impact on other people's lives. So folks, I've used an extreme example saying that doing basic stuff in school can go global and into people's houses and into people's lives. So that's the power of using some of these industry techniques, merging them with our educational objectives. And of course, a big deal is the degree of support in the right time at the right places. And Dewey's excellent 5 kind of classifications of type of support we'll see kind of mirrored in this next section here, because what I want to do is give you a very detailed example so you know exactly what we're talking about. So this is a project which we've been already done, and we're using it in STEAMTEACH, which is looking at teaching teachers, in fact, in STEAM. And this is analysing sport and performance. And so remember, we're working at the emotional level. So when we're analysing sport and performance, yeah, guess what? Found this clip on YouTube. So let's start it. Let's engage the kids by something like this.
Scientists are taking apart Cristiano Ronaldo's body to discover what makes him one of the world's most valuable footballers. So far, his body strength and extraordinary mental ability have been examined. The next set of tests will investigate his amazing technique. Is it this that gives him the edge? Ronaldo's free kicks are as famous as they are effective. Fast, accurate, and unpredictable, his success rate is 3 times the average. No one else in the world has mastered his technique. So the question is, how does he do it? It's a put. So, okay, we've hooked the kids, but now what we're trying to do is work with them progressively to develop skills, to engage in hands-on activities using Tracker and GeoGebra softwares, and to have specific educational objectives, but all within a creative framework where we're progressively decreasing the structure, working with these kids. So let's look at what that 4-part hot housing example could look like. The project justification, because it's not education in a vacuum, it's not total creativity, is that we have specific objectives in collaborative learning, project and problem-based approach, effective factors, as we've discussed before, and we know and have rationale for what we're doing and specific curricular content in this. So again, it's balancing the creativity within a certain framework. And the steps, if you like, of a generic STEAM approach of identifying the problem, exploring the science, evaluating, refining, and presenting the project, we'll see here. So the first one, these kids have seen Ronaldo, or they've seen Alexander Petro, or they've seen an ice skater, or whatever. They're going to be looking at, if you like to read while I'm talking on this side here, quite detailed activity where we're engaging them immediately, and look at the concentration on these kids' faces when they're looking at actually recording, taking a video clip of a moving ball. And of course, they can then choose, you know, what kind of recording they want to do, what kind of subject matter. But note, it's an intensive, highly structured initial activity where the kids are split into group. They got 3 minutes to discuss and then present ideas for 60 seconds. Intensive, hard work. And again, group work, doing technical activities. And then above all here,
group 60-second presentations and demonstrations. So that then goes to the second level. The second level, trying to stay calm. Oh dear. Do forgive me, folks.
There you go.
Yeah, so the second level, where you'll see they've taken, in this case, a girl's taken an example of a basketball example. She's put the video clip into Tracker movement capture and analysis software, and then you can then capture the movement of that ball. Tracker goes through automatically. And again, the whole point is the student can do their own activity, tracking the ball. And then if you just take a look here, they've maybe talked about quadratic equations in this GeoGebra item, but what they can then do is to use the software to look at the graphs of that movement.
Position, and as before, we can look to the analysis tool.
So that's the real data movement, and then we're looking at fitting a curve to that parabola. But what's interesting after this is that we can take that real life data, and in workshop 3, import that real life data into GeoGebra and create a simulation. If you'll just bear with me.
GeoGebra simulation, the key things are we've taken the data from Tracker, we built the simulation, and we've got the ball going nicely from the hand into the basket. What we can do as well is to move the initial velocity. And so, of course, the ball doesn't go as high. Then we can increase the initial velocity of the throw, and the ball goes too high, right up to the top, as we can see. So let's take that back. And here we can adjust the angle.
And the whole point, folks, here is that by this stage, the kids are working on their individual projects, but the kids are in control and the kids are leading it with support from other pupils and indeed experts. Then the work carries on to then make individual project presentations. In the workshop 4, it's essentially presenting the project. But the interesting one is right up front when I was saying we're using this with specific objectives, as we can see, but each of these new skills can be applied to a vast array of other STEM projects. And this is a football simulation.
We can just shooting power. And then we can shoot. Okay. We go back.
And that could go on for some time until I actually score a goal, but you'll have to trust me on that one, I'm afraid. So
here's a specific example, and what I want to do now is go very quickly with a quick run through of various formats of hot housing, and finishing with a really nice creative solution. So what I talked about before is the BT Global hot housing with students. And in this example, the students are asked to look at what's the next big mobile product. Remember, in 2005 to 2008, so before iPhone, remember, car navigation doesn't quite look like it does now, you know, but the idea is there, and so on and so forth. But again, these kids are working with BT experts, but as kind of equal partners. This is a nice one where with GeoGebra, where we asked students to work together on cool STEAM projects for other students. And so this student came up with a really cool paper plane project.
This project is on how the paper aeroplanes fly. Particular interest is the use of GeoGebra, used here for the instructions. Quite neat. Next one is to look at parabolas. Here we see again the angles, the height, slider to predict where the ball lands. And then last but not least, you see a simulation of the movement of the plane, taking into account the various factors.
And then finally, for this section, a KICS project, which is the one with Christoph and others, Kids Inspiring Kids for STEAM. And this is a fabulous one where we had international collaboration using microbits, Kitronic Buggy, and again, these came about 40 projects, ideas, and the idea was to get kids developing stuff for other kids. And just to show you again the level that it can be taken to, this is what 3 kids in a special needs school came up with. Now, these 3 kids in a special needs school, as it's called in the UK, doesn't, you know, these kids are 16 and they are smart kids, okay? But nevertheless, what they came up with in terms of creativity can be seen in this video called Chain Reaction. These kids, again, aren't 16, even if they may look a bit older. So again, one of the best cases, obviously, my favorite, or rather best, who knows, my favorite, just the sheer creativity that kids can come up with. And the kids, the first names were the kids, and then supported by the teachers. And again, the level of professionalism of support in the right place at the right time was, you know, extremely impressive, I have to say. Anyway, coming towards kind of the last part now, this happened, as I told you, I'm working with John Kepler University in Linz, and these other wonderful people on a project called STEAM Connect. And this is how we work on projects in STEAM, and focusing on the collaboration, and the collaboration between kids, obviously, but the collaboration between teachers themselves. So what might that in-school network look like? How might that relate outside? And the interesting thing which I wanted to share was the first part of the project was to make an inventory of interesting projects that we could use, and also some evaluation tools. And I just want to take you very quickly through this. So this is a lovely piece of work with 3D modeling and printing by, excuse me, I don't know what this is. Printing. And as the author says, it's using art to create 3D models and using art as a motivating factor to focus and enjoy opportunities, but above all, working together in collaborative teams. And the phrase from the Eva, teachers catching fire with 3D, is a perfect example of an expectation shock, where for teachers to see an image of, in this case, an elephant on a wall, and then actually printing out this real life object really had a huge impact on Eva's teachers. Here's another one with JKU. This is Ben Haas working with Math City Map. And this is basically, kids working in teams in their mobiles, going out on the street and looking at mathematic activities in the street, and also focusing on augmented reality and so on. But again, beautiful example of work which is really engaging these kids on the emotional level. And a third activity by Shireen, connecting architecture to culture and history to mathematics, really pulls all my bells, because as an engagement activity, this just seems to me absolutely marvelous for people to work together. But what's interesting as well is pulling together these people's, like, for example, Eva's evaluation. You know, this is really quite unusual because it's dead simple, and she's making evaluation fun. So this amuses me. 3D printing, how did you find it? Is as hard as going for a walk on a beach, going for a walk on a beach at night, going for a walk in a forest at night, or getting lost in the forests while trying to find a glimpse of moonlight. This person is an artist coming up with wonderful stuff like that. But my key point from, what I've been talking about so far, what did you expect, right? Go, 3D print, what's the big deal? What did you find? What was that perception shift in attitude? Here's from Math City Map, where this is just a 2-minute questionnaire where there's various activities that you can apply it to. And again, we're looking at perception. To what extent do you feel that Math City Map supports learning, blah, blah, blah. But here, talking to the teacher in this case, to what extent do you feel an integrated STEAM approach is important to you? What did you feel before the activity? And what do you feel now? Because if you think about it, folks, if we're engaging with kids or teachers, you've got, if there's no change before and after, why bother with these kids or teachers? So to what extent do you feel that team working skills are important? To what extent do you feel that you have the technology skills to succeed in your career? And questions of this kind of format, which is a combination of, you know, the Likert 5-point scale, and again, Parasuruman, is really designed to get this perception shift. And if you do that, you can also combine that with qualitative work to get comments from teachers and students, and also to identify enhancements. So I guess in conclusion, I'm going to leave you with the thought that collaboration is everything between students themselves, between them and teachers themselves, bringing in industry, business experts and the community, but it's all about collaboration. And this is in a Cambridge school. This is where the 15-year-old kid is teaching the young child and mother. This is where dad is working with 2 kids. This is where kids are working with the Cisco organization. And this is kids working in Peckham Rye Park in London. And guess who that guy is? Any offers? The England football team captain, guys. Incredible. But I just want to leave you with an expectation shock. Just if you remember one thing, it's the beauty of working together in a trusting relationship. And so here, this is, believe it or not, one of our studies where we work at how young can you go, working with IBO, which is a Sony kind of intelligent robot. And this is from some years ago, but maybe my favorite expectation shock to illustrate the importance of that trusting relationship, and never more so, of course, between child and parent. Enjoy.
These quizzes.
So friends, I've taken you through, can we use industry techniques in education to help kids as well in their future careers? And I certainly think we can. I've taken through an example to say it's not just a pure creative exercise. It can be linked with degrees of structure to the curriculum and specific educational objectives. I've taken you through the key point in industry, which is to come up with creative solutions. And that's what these kids are doing to incredible degrees. And then the latest stuff, which is about collaboration. And really, it is all about us working together. Thank you very much.
We had a question, that was yours, Chris, about which hardware you might need, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I was just thinking about the tracker capture video. Are there special hardware requirements for that, and do you know what they are, Tony?
No, there aren't, Chris. And you can Google Tracker, you know, and you'll find it. You're able to download it for free. And the other key question is, what equipment do you need to, you know, capture the clip that you're going to put on Tracker? And the answer to that is anything you like. And it's really quite interesting when kids can compare, you know, the results using their mobile phone to capture something and, you know, a real quality camera, you know, and it's horses for courses, the right tool for the job. Once you've got the clip, trust me, even I can do it, right? It's easy to just go on to Tracker and upload that clip. And once the thing is there, again, it really is cool stuff, this, because you can either do it automatically or you can just go click, click, click and capture the movement of that ball, you know, and it's so satisfying to be able to do that. And when bang, up comes the actual curve, and is this a parabola or God, what is that? Is really cool. But what I'm going to do is will look after this presentation for the link, you know, and post it to yourselves. It's highly recommended stuff. And of course, you can use that real life data and importing it into GeoGebra, which is key.
So that's fairly seamless as well then, that import feature.
Yes, yeah. The tracker in itself, though, is a really beautiful self-contained thing. You don't have to use GeoGebra, right? You can get loads of stuff just with Tracker. But like I say, the interesting thing, of course, with a lot of projects in GeoGebra or that we're working with at GKU is the real life component, you know, it's real life data that we're then using for a simulation in GeoGebra. And of course, GeoGebra is really interesting because of the features that you've seen repeated, you know, those sliders, you know, to vary the simulation and so on. But, you know, that's whether it's the flight of the planes, for example, is really interesting because you think, I don't know what you think, parabola, and then you think, hold on, it's got wings, hasn't it? So, well, I know the answer to this. It isn't but it's, you know, it's using it for various different ways. Really is flexible tools, both of them.
What else might you do a project other than balls, trajectory, or planes? What else could you suggest? Have you?
What, in hot housing, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God. We've been working on projects, like I say, what is the next mobile device with industry. We've been kids working with the local authorities, the educational authority, on what's the best use of this park, you know, what is the best use of this ground for play areas and stuff like that. And the kids come in with experts, like I say, to look at what that design might be. But we've done so many on this, and as Christoph knows, on the KICS project, there's about 40 of these things. And, you know, just from the ones in the UK, there's a beautiful one where kids are asked to use a microbit I don't know if you're familiar with microbit in the States. You know, you are, okay, cool. And using that to design a kind of traffic layout where you're looking at control, of, you know, the traffic in a city, you know. But what you've got, of course, is the technical issues and learning related to, you know, getting the damn thing to work, you know, the traffic lights, but also the societal factor, in addition to the technological factor, the societal factor of, do you want cars in the first place? How best, in the wider sense, to control, you know, traffic in a town, you know. So you can really go quite tight on this. And you can also get very directive, because you can have specific technology teachings, you know. So depending on what these kids are looking at, you give that technological support, but the problem is theirs. And again, it's not all type 5 stuff in Dewey's terms, you know, that totally child centers, but the child owns the problem. The child plans. The child works out which group they're going to be in and who does what, you know. And of course, like parents, like supportive parents, the teacher's there to catch anybody that risks falling off.
Right. Continue to be the bumpers. Brilliant. Yes, very brilliant.
By the way, what I haven't told you, but, you know, it's been such fun, is that who do you think the lady and the baby was in that last video?
Is that a trick question?
No.
You're going to have to tell us. I can't guess.
Okay. The young lady was my daughter.
Oh.
And the beautiful 2-year-old kid was my granddaughter, Anais Houghton Ben Kamal. The only thing is, that video was taken 18 years ago. But, you know, I can't resist it. Any excuse to put it in a presentation, I do. The next presentation that I do, you'll see the same vids. Whatever it's about.
She shows up a lot. Wonderful. Are there other questions from the attendees?
I think they've all had enough.
One Yang posted the link. He's asking, is the tracker this thing in the link? He suggested it might be this one. Is that the right one, Tony?
No, that's the Christoph's put the STEAMTEACHE link.
A bit further down, if you go to the end of the chat. Is that the right one? Fislet.
Oh, no, there's kicks as well.
Right.
I think it is.
Oh, and Philippe got it. The Rube Goldberg, yeah.
Yes.
Well done, Philippe. Oh, sorry. What was the question?
A bit further down, if you go down, fislets.org. Is that the right tracker?
Oh, I think so. I'm going to have to check.
Mm-hmm.
Just a minute.
Looks like it. I went to that video. I went to that webpage.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like we are finished.
Yes, I think so.
And thanks very much. It was very inspiring, Tony. I think everyone liked this.
Well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. On this occasion, bless you all. Thank you.
Dewey, thank you as well, Mr. Cho.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dewey. There's some great stuff there.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
See you in February.
Yeah, see you back up. Yeah, see you once again in February. All right. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good evening or have a good night wherever you are.
I'm going to have breakfast. Bye-bye, everybody.
Oh, that's nice. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.